It is that time of the week once again. Comment Force number 27 coming in hot and buttered with some delicious peanut flavored butter. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from Switch Force. Gabe and Jake are here as per usual. For all of you out there in the Switchiverse, you peaches, you goombas, you toads, you humans, we have a show for you. It's a little bit of a shorter show. There weren't a whole lot of comments, and we had some travels going on, and we can touch on that in our What Happened This Past Week segment, which begins right about now. But first, thank you so much for all of your comments, your feedback, your questions. We love you guys getting involved, and we really appreciate it. And we're taking some further steps to integrate you guys with us even further and expand the community. So stay tuned. Keep your ears, eyes, and leafs open for that one. Now time, Gabe and Jay, to regale me with tales of the week that was.
I traveled. I went to San Francisco, and I played video games. I played.
That's cool.
Yeah, I played Ubisoft's video games. The only Switch game I played was Rayman, and that's Rayman. You can go get the demo now on eShop if you want to see what that game is more like. That game is really fun. But spent a lot of time in airports. I played Sonic in airports. I played Splatoon 2 multiplayer in an airport while just using the hotspot on my phone. That was cool.
But Gabe, the real crux of this trip is how many friends did you make while you were switching it up at the airport?
Not a whole lot. Just one crying baby. There was a person sitting next to me with a baby that just cried a lot, and it was crying and crying, and the baby. It wasn't even like, yes. All right, look. Let me just give you the age range. When I say baby, I don't know. Maybe you imagine a few months old. No, this is like a 1.5 old child, and it was just crying a whole lot.
Why didn't you use your 1-2 switch skills and rock the baby to complete calmness?
No, I'm not touching anyone else's baby.
You're not up for some baby touches?
No, but Sonic though, that's a fun airport game.
Yeah. How did Splatoon 2 work in the airport?
Perfect. Like
Did you feel weird like motion? Oh, you don't motion control.
I don't motion control. What's wrong with you, man? No, I don't.
Yeah, you're a Splatoon pleb.
I would have felt like weird if I was just like waving my Switch around.
Did you get any rabid sightings while you're at Ubisoft? Ubisoft?
No rabid sightings that I can speak of. No.
I've started to see quite a few ads pop up for online, which I think is good news. I hope that the game, is marketed heavily and sells well, because I feel like it can appeal to a very wide, range of people. So that has been promising to see. But yes, travels for Gabe. Jake, you traveled inside your own mind and discovered what?
I discovered the secret of the next big Nintendo IP.
That you're going to tell us all about now.
Does it involve an ink pad and some stamp letters?
No. It's actually this game about metamorphosis. And you start as a caterpillar, and you're very hungry. And you have to eat all these different plants and berries. And then you grow up and then you're in the cocoon phase. And you have to, it's basically like take a break phase. And you can't touch the game for a month. If you touch the game for a month, then it starts over. You break your chrysalis and have to start all over with a new caterpillar.
Gosh.
But you have to leave your Switch sitting there for a month, and then you come back, you get a beautiful butterfly, and then you fly around having adventures throughout the Mushroom Kingdom. And so it's like an aerial bird's eye view of the Mushroom Kingdom. So you can like fly over like Mario and Peach's Castle and do adventures.
So this is like the worst nightmare ever come true. It's edutainment plus parental controls plus a mobile app converted into a video game. Yay, Nintendo. The future is so darn bright. Actually, it is really bright. We had a lot of great articles this week come out about Splatoon 2 being #1 in July, the Switch doing very, very well, and a lot of talk about third parties and their support. So let's dive into the comments and see what we got first. Jaker Kid comes in with a little bit of direct prediction, saying, I'm calling an Animal Crossing Direct. We know that the mobile game is well on its way, and I predict Nintendo will announce Animal Crossing Switch at the same time and have a direct dedicated to Animal Crossing, maybe some new amiibo, and how the mobile game perhaps ties into the Switch game. I know it seems a little out of the blue to suddenly drop a huge title like this, but Nintendo has already stated that they still have plenty announced for Switch that are currently in the works. So maybe it won't be this year, but probably early next year. We do know the mobile game is coming this year.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Animal Crossing, not so much for Switch. But I mean, this is feasible, I think.
Maybe they do a direct when the mobile comes out, and then they announce Animal Crossing for 2018.
Yeah, that's kind of what he was getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which I think that's a viable thing. I mean, I have never been into Animal Crossing, but I would try it on Switch merely for the fact that it would look pretty and I'd be able to take it everywhere, and then I could understand what this phenomenon is. 'Cause I think outside of Smash Bros, Animal Crossing is one of the most requested Switch games.
For sure. And like you, I'm not like super into Animal Crossing, but also like you, if it's on the Switch, I'll definitely give it a go. And this seems feasible. This seems like something that would happen. It makes sense for a Animal Crossing Direct. And like they mentioned, maybe new amiibo. I don't know how the past Animal Crossing amiibo did, but it's a possibility for sure.
I have all of them. I can tell you that they're very cute. I don't know what they do because I didn't play the game that they were associated
Probably
with.
a Caterpillar amiibo.
Great. Jake, I'm very excited for your games. They sound like the absolute just death of the Switch, so thank you. Thank you for bringing that about.
It's like the next Nintendogs, but now it's
except way more
Caterpillar.
boring. Well, since you're gonna have to,
you put me on the spot to come up with.
Since you're gonna have to set the Switch down and not play games, Max is hoping that they'll bring something else. Jake,
not on video topic, but I'll ask anyways. When do you guys think we get apps such as Netflix, YouTube, Amazon Prime, and maybe Spotify? The Switch could be perfect for movies on the go.
So this is something that's been discussed, a lot before, but I just wanted to bring it back up in terms of timeline-wise, since we are approaching fall 2017. Do you think this is something that
curious.
Nintendo drops, in time for the holidays, since people will really want that as they make their choice of console, or do you think it's something that they save for the online service in 2018?
Yeah, I think they'll save it, and you'll have to be one of the paid members to use it. I think this year they focus on Mario. And I mean, they have other games coming. I think this year
I just want to know who's going to use Spotify on the Switch. Let me put my giant 9-inch MP3 player in my pocket while I listen to Spotify.
Yeah, I frankly don't see the purpose of Netflix, YouTube, or Amazon Prime. And I mean, I understand it. People want it, but I always have my phone with me, so to me, this is a non-issue. But I do think it happens. I just don't think it's this year.
I think it is.
I just wonder if. I don't think it's this year, but I wonder if they could do it and then market as like a tablet takeover for little kids, so you could have actual video games and like Netflix and YouTube on the same device for little kids.
Sure. Yeah, I just think that this will be something that in their Direct they announce as a feature bump for
which Direct,
the end of the year Direct, the upcoming Direct. This is the longest gap that we've had in Directs this year. And so I think one is coming soon. And, I mean, Reggie has said this has been in the works since the launch. So I don't think this is something, unless they're really bonkers and want to save it for the paid online, which would look terrible on their part. I think this is something that they drop a couple of these in time for the holidays just to up the ante. So when people are going to make a decision between a PS4, an iPad, a Switch, the Switch just looks that much more comparable and that much more alluring. But we shall see.
Yeah.
All right, we have two interesting comments about the flight versus invisibility Splatfest and people basically trying to scientifically prove why one is better than the other.
All right, so Abe Zatals says, for those who picked invisibility, you need light to reflect off your visible eyes in order to see. So therefore, it is scientifically proven that you are blind when you're invincible.
Invisible.
That's not you could have an outer shell that makes you invisible, and then internally you could still have the light bounce around and hit your rods and cones in the back of your eye to be able to see.
I just feel like this is unfair. If you're gonna bring science into this for invisibility, you also got to bring it in with flight.
Oh,
how are you gonna fly?
They absolutely do. Listen, Switch Wish says if you're flying, you go pretty fast, right? In that case, you're going really fast through the air. But in reality, your eyes would blow up because of all the pressure buildup, and some organs wouldn't be in the right place. That's why I'm Team Invisibility for the win.
Wait, why are organs moving around?
You're going so fast, they're getting jarred and jumbled.
Well, wait.
No one said you're flying at light speed.
Yeah, why would you fly that fast? Just fly at 20 miles an hour or something.
Like a
very
bird.
Slow flyer.
Yeah.
So a casual fly versus a invisibility shell.
Yes.
You guys really made the Splatfest a lot less fun.
It's birds versus turtles.
No, but
or chameleons.
Dude,
birds versus chameleons.
You could fly at 80 miles per hour and you'll still be fine.
I saw some good points being made. Okay, listen, As soon as you debut your flying powers, the government's either going to shoot you down or capture you, or you're going to not be able to live a normal life. Invisibility, you just go about your business. Then I saw some other people saying, invisibility, no one's even going to be aware of your power. What if you get stuck in the invisible zone? What if, blah, 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 blah. So there's a lot of back and forth, and I like that this one has inspired so much contemplation, and I'm hoping that contemplation will blur the fact that Marina and Pearl represent these teams, and we'll get a balanced Splatfest.
All right, here. Let's all make our decision here. I am 100% Team Flight.
Yeah, I'm Flight as well.
Jake?
I was going to be Flight, but now I kind of want to be Invisibility because it made me think of chameleons, and I like chameleons.
Caterpillars, chameleons, you like a whole bunch of little animals that start with the letter C. But yeah, I think Flight is just like the more fun power. Like people get to see you and you get to like stand out. And the other one, you do the opposite of stand out.
Needs more friends.
I feel like
I
feel like needs some more attention.
Flight is the more like valiant, good power, and invisibility is a little bit more of the nefarious, like evil. Like I'm gonna go steal some stuff. I'm gonna go creep on these people. I'm gonna go, you know what I mean? It's like
it's like stuff. You're gonna make stuff look like it's floating.
Yeah.
Man, don't let a high school kid like be able to be invisible, please. Like that'll just be a mess.
Which power would Donald Trump want?
Okay, let's move on.
Michael Roca says, I'm tired of hearing big developers using the excuse that the Switch is a local multiplayer experience. Splatoon 2 is a primarily online game, and I've spent 60% of my Turf War matches on my mobile Wi-Fi from my cell phone. Not to mention the saturation of free Wi-Fi networks anywhere you go nowadays. How does someone like Activision not see their customers would not want a Switch version of Modern Warfare 1 or 2 to play on the go, or GTA insert name stories on the go? I feel that putting AAA titles on the Switch would sell more units and software to the masses. And it's an interesting point, right? The world today is very different from the world when the 3DS, the Vita, any of these things came out. And yeah, there is plenty of people that have unlimited data, plenty of people that are near Wi-Fi networks. Are we overblowing the portability clashing with online type experiences?
I mean,
but why? I don't understand why it's an issue. You can't take your Xbox One on the go, and you can dock your Switch. So the Switch is just like a +1 for the Switch.
Well,
the
issue is making a game that then you say, well, the features, half the game doesn't work when it's not docked.
Yeah, like the issue is more about the games, and they want like multiplayer, like games like Overwatch. It's a multiplayer only game, like online. So people say, oh, it doesn't fit on Switch because it's meant to be a handheld that you take with you, and there's not like internet everywhere. But like as I said in the beginning of the video, I was at an airport with like no internet, and I just used my phone hotspot.
Yeah, and that's what Michael did.
I still feel I still don't feel like that's a valid argument. Like, oh, the Switch has extra features so that everything and anything that goes on the Switch has to be able to form to every single one of those features. Like, I don't know, it doesn't really make sense to me. But
yeah,
I can see why some people.
I do get his point about like once you beat the single player, the only thing you can do with Splatoon 2 is online. You can't.
That's not true.
What else can you do?
Local salmon run.
Okay. Yes, there's local salmon run, but. I don't know. For me, majority of my time has been spent in those online matches, and so I think for myself and for Michael and for a lot of players, Splatoon 2 is kind of an online only game, and that does lend some credence to like, yeah, bring Call of Duty over, bring Battlefront over.
This is what it boils down to. EA, bring Modern Warfare to Switch.
EA?
I mean, not EA,
Okay.
Activision. No, sorry, I'm going somewhere with that. That was just me messing up because my mind is dumb. Activision, bring Modern Warfare over. EA, bring over Battlefield Bad Company 2. Both those games would probably run on the Switch just fine, and those two games are amazing, and I can play those online, and I'll be very happy.
Yeah, I
just don't know why we want to dip backwards into old
I still
popular games.
I still want to play those games.
I don't want to
they're
dip
still
backwards.
fun.
I want them to get a version of the new Call of Duty on the console.
It would be such an inferior version. Like we played the game at E3. Like,
Yeah, so it's a visually inferior version that you can take wherever you want.
So the Switch is going to become a virtual console game for all other
Xbox
systems,
360.
and then have some new Nintendo games.
And I'm not saying all. I'm just saying just like these two games. Whatever. You guys are missing.
I get your point. That you would like to.
A ton of people would play Modern Warfare on the Switch if they could play it on the go. A ton of people would play Bad Company on the Switch if they could play it on the go. That's my.
We had a lot of discussion about how some people think Skyrim, even though it is a completely old, at this point, ancient game, is going to sell super well on Switch, primarily because of the portability. People mentioned, Street Fighter at 40. People thought no one's going to buy that, and Capcom has revealed that it sold very well. So perhaps the mindset that we think makes sense of like, oh, people don't want this, maybe they do, and for better or worse, that will dictate where things go in the future.
Again, that's y'all's mindset. I'm cool with playing games that are a little bit older and are still fun.
I want new.
I know. I just don't think most companies really want to be like, oh yeah, let's just throw all of our old titles on the Switch and work on porting that when we keep making new games.
I mean, again, you keep saying all. I mean, and Activision isn't making games for Switch, period. So
I think it works.
Bring over one day.
Well, I know, but
I think it works initially. But I think if the Switch devolves into a 2D side-scrolling indie machine and a last generation port factory, that's not where we want this system to go.
No, but Nintendo's still pushing. Capcom is still doing cool things. I feel okay about it.
All right, well, let's take things to a different kind of entertainment.
Yellow Toad Animations. He's got his own company. Wow, Yellow Toad is really doing some things. You got Captain Toad out exploring and collecting diamonds, and Yellow Toad is over here making animations. I am from the entertainment sector of toads known as Yellow Toads. And that makes sense. They're flashy and yellow and gold like Hollywood Walk of Fame. As the entertainment sector, we would like to announce that the new TV program called Total Obliteration and Destruction, for short Toad, TOAD, will be 1 episode long and have a special guest, Has Been Gabe, which will be changed to Late Gabe soon.
What?
If Gabe would be not like to be part of this TV show, you should stop threatening toads. We have more power than you think. Like if you are part of the Toad Union.
Nobody
Toad is
like that.
an acronym for a lot of different things, apparently.
Yeah, and they want to kill me. They're saying they're going to make me... This is going to be Late Gabe. I'm going to be dead?
They have a special TV program, 1 episode, Gabe. They want you to be on their big show. It's a finale and a pilot all in one.
I wish it wasn't a death show. I wish it was more like the Truman Show, where they locked Gabe in this like weird virtual reality world and they just
That's actually a great idea.
Yeah.
Gabe, forget editing, uploading, playing. Let's just put you in a dome and we'll just give you a Switch and then we'll just monitor your life and like use megaphones to commentate and like commentate your life.
I'm game, especially if these darn toads stay away. They're silly at this point. They are making nothing but empty threats, and I don't feel threatened in the slightest, so it's not working. Alan Easton, though, he says, your dog is the cutest I've ever seen. I want to pet him / her. Please tell me more about your dog. Kobe was in the video. I saw that.
Kobe was accidentally in a video. She is an adorable dog. She is 17 years old. She is probably running out of days.
Don't go
She has some doggy Alzheimer's and some. She's pretty much blind and deaf. She's still a beautiful puppy, but running out of time. So thank you for the comments of cuteness. She could sure use them. Someone said, was that a dog with a diaper? I feel like I'm dreaming. You were definitely not dreaming. She definitely is wearing a diaper. And to dispel all the myths, because there was some arguments about what the cause and the reason, I guess, for the diaper was, and it's because she is very old and losing control of her faculties.
All right, let's move on.
Just Another Inkling says, I couldn't really tell what the character was before I watched this ARMS video, but as soon as you said baker, I saw the hat as a chef baker hat. Plus, it also looks like the character has a bow tie and suspenders. That's what those things are called, right? Really good analysis. I think you got it spot on, Jake.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a chef anymore. I think it's the guy with the lollipop on his head. But I think he's a candy shop owner, like an old vintage candy man with a bow tie and a vest and like a lollipop on his head and possibly a mustache. But yeah, it's close. It's close to the chef hat thing. But yeah, I definitely think that's what he is, and I'm excited to see how he plays and what his special abilities with his bubblegum pants are.
Yeah.
Do you have bubblegum pants?
No, but Patrick Star has inflatable pants.
Okay.
Yes, I am excited to see what they are bringing, and it's got to be soon. The teases have been going on for a while, so that has to be cool.
Yep.
Native Tech says every single one of them are suspicious, and no company knows how to research and develop on Nintendo's console. We think kids are buying this. Zelda sold a lot because hardcores are coming back. Hey, look at all the party games selling well. Well, Dragon Ball Z did not sell well, so no DBZ fighters. indie galore, which isn't bad, but ...
And
You didn't finish
this
the
is
statement.
obviously referencing the third-party support and which strategy, which companies have the right idea, and a lot of people seem to think that right now they don't believe any of them are going to support it thoroughly, which I think is a sad but okay, accurate statement given the Wii U and given what has happened thus far. But I wanted to discuss with you guys his point of like what the Switch is and how we have seen kind of different things, and that are people too scattered of trying to pigeonhole the Switch rather than just viewing it as a everything game console.
Well, a lot of people, including some it was the EA CEO or something like that. And I don't know if it was the CEO, but someone that works at EA. Like, a lot of people just say that they use it just as a handheld. Like, that's what it's become for so many people. And we spoke about this before the Switch even came out. Like, hey, like, what direction is this thing going to go in? Like, are people going to embrace the hybrid nature? Will this just be their handheld and people will move away from the 3DS? And I think not enough time has passed quite yet. Like, we don't have a ton of software available, and people are still making that decision and integrating the thing into their lives as an everyday device. So I think that the lifespan of the Switch and its primary usage is yet to be determined.
Yeah, it's a little weird to me because, and I guess we're part of the problem. Why do we always seek to label the Switch? We don't say, oh, the PS4 is a phenomenal local multiplayer system. Oh, the PS4 is like the go-to place for indie games. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, and maybe it is more of the handheld nature that gets, looking for something to sort of describe the system and give it a strength. But yeah, is that a disservice? Should we just view the Switch as a video game console and everything should come to it, every kind, and it should be capable of local and online and single player? And
I think go ahead, Jake.
I was going to say, I'm wondering if it's like a step in a direction that we don't really have been thinking about yet, where, video game systems become all-in-one systems. Like, I'm thinking about smartphones, and we had, home phones, and we had cell phones that were really limited and had no screens, and we had cell phones with screens and some texting. Then we had touchscreen phones, and people were like, what the heck are these janky machines? And then we eventually got to a point where your phone can basically do pretty much everything your desktop computer can, with some limitations, obviously. But like, I wonder if the Switch is like a step in that direction where in the future there will be just kind of all-in-one systems that can support the same games docked and handheld mode, and the Switch is kind of almost like a stepping stone or a test to test that market and see where it goes.
The way I fall on this, like, I guess it's just the old adage, like, jack of all trades but master of none, right? Like, the Switch does a few things very, very well, but I don't think it does like any one thing like amazingly. Like, it's not the best home console. It's not. Like, that's just fact. Like, there are platforms that have more games, they look better, all etc. And handheld,
unless you're just a massive Nintendo fan, then it could be the best.
Sure, but I'm trying to speak from a viewpoint of
objective.
Yeah, and some could make the argument that it's not the best handheld either. Like, it doesn't have the library. I mean, and sure, it's a very young platform, and I love the Switch. I'm not trying to be disparaging at all. I'm just trying to meet these people that say these things, somewhere along the road, and try to come to terms with what they're saying and why they're saying these things. I love the Switch. I think it's it's my favorite console. I like my Switch more than I like my PS4 and my Xbox. I still primarily play on PC, but as far as consoles go, I want to play on Switch. Sonic Mania came out. I played it on Switch and on PS4. I was able to take the Switch version with me and play at an airport and play a bunch of Sonic there. Like, that matters. I'd much rather play Sonic on my Switch. Will it be like that for the bigger games? Probably not, because I want them to like look better and play better and whatever. But it's hard when you try to do so many things. Like, you're gonna get a fragmented audience. That's just gonna happen.
I feel like the Switch, though, and I kind of wanted to make a video about this, so I won't go into too much detail about it, but I feel like the Switch could be the ultimate local multiplayer machine and be, you said, master of none, but I feel like it could master local multiplayer and be able to play multiplayer games on the go in tabletop mode and really capitalize on that market as well. But I mean, I guess I see what you're saying. But again, for me, I don't label it as one thing or, trying to spread itself out. I feel like it just does multiple things well, and it's just a hybrid and not something that you can really even compare with the Xbox One or PS4.
It is the best hybrid. And I don't like comparing them either. I love the Switch. It's a fantastic platform, and I'm excited.
Yeah, I just quickly, last thing I'll say is I think the Switch is the biggest success if it's able to shake off all of these labels and just be a great system. I think by default, as soon as something becomes, but it's a really great indie machine, but it's the go-to local, that already is saying that this is like needing justification for its existence. And I hope that over time, rather than like, we're just going to put party games, we're just going to put old games, we're just going to put local, I hope it just gets all games, because the idea of a hybrid system can support any kind of game. As we discussed earlier, there's plenty of Wi-Fi. It can support online games. Docked, it can support online games. It can support, story-based games. It can support, So I personally, I think back, I look back, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of don't want it to be a this system or a that system. I just want it to be a system.
Yeah, but then it just becomes difficult. FIFA's a perfect example. Like, they can't get the Frostbite engine to work very well on the Switch. Like, they just can't do it. Like, at least not with the time that they've had, or not without, like, pushing it way back. I don't know. I don't develop with the Frostbite engine. I develop with the Gabe engine. But yeah, getting the Frostbite engine on Switch was trouble for them. They couldn't do it. So at some point, not every game could come. Like, the next Battlefield probably won't be on Switch.
Yeah, very true.
Like, Call it. So, like, yeah, you want them to have every game, but it can't. There's games that it just can't handle. Like,
yeah, so I guess in that point, if it can't handle certain things, it does then need to do something super well to compensate. So yeah, it's a weird spot, and
or does it even need to like compete to get those like AAA titles that come to what has like
no, but then it becomes a Nintendo machine, which is the curse blessing of the last couple Nintendo platforms.
But would it be bad if it had really good, like, big AAA Nintendo games on it with a ton of great, like, smaller indie games or 2D platformers or multiplayer games to, like, intersperse it? Like, would that be a bad thing, or would that be a smart thing to kind of keep it separate as opposed to trying to throw it into the market pool of PC, Xbox, and PlayStation?
No, Zach, and I know at this point, like, it seems like I try to find any excuse to talk about this game, but PUBG, right? Super big game on PC. Yeah. They're bringing it over to Xbox, and they have said, like, hey, we have a working version on Xbox One X, which is, for those of you that don't know, the new stronger Xbox that supports 4K and everything. So they have a version of that game running in 1080p. With 100 players. That's a game that requires 100 players. Like, a game like that just can't come to Switch. They can barely make it run on Xbox One X. So, like, just to your point, like, that, you want, like, every game to come over. There's just so much in gaming that's changing. Like, we're moving towards, like, this, constant online thing. Like, Destiny is another good example of a big game that has a lot of players connected at all times. And, I think that's tricky to bring over to Switch. But
I kind of almost leaning towards they keep it more exclusive. Like, it already stands out as this hybrid machine. Why not make it more stand out more and have like specific good games? So if you want to play them, like if you want to play Splatoon 2, you can't play that anywhere else except if you get a Switch. If you want to try out Breath of the Wild, this like earth-shattering game, like you have to get a Switch.
I think then they need to really focus on the hybrid nature as the defining factor and not a specific genre of game. Let the hybrid thing carry over across all games and be the extra oomph that it needs, and not like, it should be, because let's be honest, Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Splatoon can be done on any other system. Those aren't things that can only be done on Switch. So,
well, yeah. Well, maybe
yes. I just mean, design and mechanic wise.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, it's an interesting discussion. Definitely let us know how you feel about that. We'll move on to computer controlled though.
All right, he or she, or I don't know, says, I hope they do this separately from the Switch as well, just a Joy-Con. I'd love to be able to buy a left blue, right red separately without needing to buy a new console or import double red, double blue. This is in reference to the customization bundles that Japan is offering for the Switch, where you can use any color Joy-Con on any side.
Well, except the green and pink are still limited to their left and right. But
yes.
I do think it'd be awesome if Nintendo would start allowing, through their website even, custom Joy-Con orders. I think that would even be a bigger hit than the custom Switch, because most people are probably going to get their Switch in stores, but then if you want more Joy-Con or different kinds, I think allowing you to create custom packs like, hey, I'll take a yellow and a pink, or I'll take 2 green, or I'll take, a gray and a blue, that would be really awesome.
Yep.
So you want them to sell the Switch?
No. I just mean like for your second things, kind of like how Microsoft has the controller creation website. It's not like the console comes without a controller, but I like both ideas. I like selling the Switch through the website where you can pick which Joy-Con you get with your initial system, but a lot of people were saying, like, darn, I already have my Switch. I don't want to have to buy a whole nother Switch just to get the combo I want. So if they could offer a combo Joy-Con maker.
So maybe they just push out the gray Switch and then have all the colored ones online where you have to order them through there.
Or they just put out a bunch of little toads that can instantly assemble Switches for you, and you just go up to the counter and say, like, 1 Switch, please, and they say, what colors, please, and you say...
What color toad is in charge of that if yellow's entertainment?
Definitely blue. Definitely blue toad. They're the fastest.
They're industry manufacturing?
The blue toads.
Blue toads are industry manufacturing? Yes. Sounds good.
Gamer for Life WD says, I will definitely start playing ARMS again once they add some more characters and modes. I like ARMS, but I wish it was more fleshed out like Splatoon 2. Besides more updates, I'd also like to see events, much like Splatfest in Splatoon 2. My biggest wish is for a Punch-Out story mode starring Little Mac. I know it's a pipe dream, but at the very least, I'd like to see a cheesy arcade story mode once all the new characters are added. And I want to ask you guys, what do you think they could add to ARMS besides characters and stages that could maybe flesh the game out and bring people back for more?
Well, what I think is a curious thought that just popped in my head actually now as you were talking about this. But instead, would it be better for them to, instead of releasing one character every month or whatever, and having people come to try out the new character and then leave? Would it be better to try drop 3 characters every couple months? Because then you have multiple characters that you want to try out and test and see different combinations and against each other. I don't know. I feel like it just keep people intrigued more than just a
major season pack.
Yeah, so right.
Well,
so you come back.
They could have seasons. I'm talking a lot about games that are not Nintendo this week, but Rainbow Six. They do this thing where they have seasons, and they have a new DLC thing where they'll have 2 new characters and a new map. So they can have seasons in ARMS where they'll introduce 2 or 3 new characters and a new map and new ARMS. So like you said, it's less frequent updates, but they are more significant updates. And to
I just think it would keep people engaged longer.
Yeah, and what else could they do? Maybe a tournament mode where you can set up tournaments with your friends and things like that. Mario Kart does a really good job with that, so maybe ARMS doing something like that would be cool.
I think a tournament would be cool, or even just some event style thing where it has a weird quirk to the battles, or it's on a specific arena that's only available that weekend, or sort of like how Headlock is a cool boss. Maybe they drop some other kind of boss in there that see if kind of like one of those things where it's see if the community can defeat 100,000 blah blah blah, and then everyone gets this exclusive ARMS. I do think if they did some event style stuff, that could increase the longevity of the game.
Yeah.
Or what if they had limitation, in a ranked mode that was you can only use these specific ARMS and whatever character you want, but these specific ARMS, and that was locked in, or something like that, where it was kind of since there is such a variety in the game, then they locked it into a certain category, and then you had to play within those boundaries.
Yeah, that's possible as well.
Yeah.
Or no grabs, or I don't know, something.
No
stuff
grabs.
Like
Jake's just trying to make me lose here. I see how it goes.
No, I was just trying to think of other limitations besides specific ARMS.
No jumping.
No jumping.
All right, Adam Ski. That'd be difficult. Adam Ski 22 says, I think we might get a third-party based direct looking at the big third-party games coming out like FIFA, 2K18, WWE, and NBA. Skyrim, Rocket League, etc., and maybe a couple new surprises.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I think a third-party direct.
Doesn't Nintendo ever do a direct that's not about their stuff?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is I don't know that Nintendo would be the one to champion that. Although they did do an indie direct, but
yeah, that has nothing to do with them either.
But at the same time, it's not touting other publishers really. I
mean, they had Rocket League be in their thing, and they highlight these things whenever they can. They talk about FIFA a lot. Don't forget, guys, Payday 2 is coming to Switch.
Jeez, I would absolutely love a third-party direct, but I still think a second Nindies, an Animal Crossing, and end of the year are probably the likely things that will happen.
Yeah.
So that is going to do it, guys, for our little bit shorter comment force, although it's still
wasn't really that
reached
short.
into the near 40-minute mark. And I did want to briefly mention that we have modified the title of Comment Force to put CF at the front to see if that helps, because we get some people that think we're clickbaiting when we absolutely are not trying to, and in fact we spend way too much time replacing and rewriting and redoing titles to try and make sure that they don't mess with people. In fact, we go out of our way to ensure that it doesn't happen. I mean, at this point, it's just become a joke on the channel. We made an ARMS video about the new ARMS character teased in footage, and the thumbnail was the freaking trailer of the tease, and people said it was clickbait. So we're trying to take that not too seriously, but wanted to let you know that we have modified the title to say CF up front. So for people that claim they can't see the whole title, or they don't see the thumbnail, or it's obscured.
And for people who don't know what CF is, sorry, it's still going to be the same for you.
Well, at least it highlights.
That's a good.
At least it highlights that it's not like a direct announcement. And again, these are
CF for confirmed.
No, don't even joke with me about that. I've had enough headaches about this. It's always Saturday. They're always long videos, and yes, I mean, we think about this and. Some people are never going to believe it, but we have no desire to clickbait anybody. That's just not a part of our program.
We want to make enticing titles. But just
I'll say this up front. I
titles.
really don't think we clickbait. I really don't, like, at all. But
I mean,
I'm not. Yeah.
Maybe it's in this community it's viewed that way, but if you look at every other YouTube genre, oh boy, is it bad. And that's been accepted. Right? People there say like, oh, blah, 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 gone violent, blah, 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 gone sexual, blah, 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 my viciously attacked by my wife or whatever. And then nothing even happens. Like proposing to my girlfriend and nothing happens. And like no one cares about that. But for whatever reason in the gaming space, it's I don't know. There's a different.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is just funny at this point, but like, hey, maybe we need like a clickbait school where we can send people as like and teach them the difference between like an enticing title and an enticing thumbnail. I mean, because like you guys are relatively smart. The name of the game is to give you content that we think you would enjoy and put a title that draws people in, and we don't ever lie in the title, like ever.
Right, well, I mean, there's a difference between let's just make this up. Say there was a Mario Odyssey update. If we just titled the video Mario Odyssey, or we title it like cool update for Mario Odyssey from Nintendo, like that's not clickbait. That's just using the English language to make sure we convey what we're excited about and what we're pumped about. And a lot of times we genuinely are super pumped about this stuff, and so we try and spread that enthusiasm via the titles. But in no way are we trying to be like, oh, this video is about ARMS, but if we call it Mario's favorite fighter, then like, you know what I mean? Like it's, I don't know, but we're not trying to got any of you. So,
all right, well, forget being under 40 minutes. We took it over
40 minutes.
Well, with editing, it's going to be shorter.
And we are moving CF to the front. Thank you to those of you who valiantly defend us and know that we're not clickbaiting and know that that's not our purpose and know that this is a discussion-oriented channel. We appreciate it. I hope that you guys save your time and don't have to do it much anymore, because I know it's got to be nauseating for you as well. But thank you for being big supports and big help and trying to spread the actual truth of what's going on. But yeah, don't pay too much mind. Don't let it upset you too much. Like I said, I think at this point it's kind of a joke because on that ARMS video, like, whew. Yeah, anyhow, CF's in the front. This is number 27. 28 will be next week. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for being a part of the community. Like I said, we got some cool community stuff coming, so stay tuned for that. We're pretty pumped. We're nearing basically halfway to 150, which is great. And 150,000 subscribers.
Rabbids.
We should hope that we get our hands on Rabbids this coming week and can start getting you guys the juicy details on the full retail game. There's quite a few indie titles hitting as well, so it should be a fun time. Keep those comments, questions, theories, thoughts, and feedback flowing through the videos, and we will keep the content coming strong as well. Until that time, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Have a fantastic week. For myself, Jake, and Gabe, Switch Force out.